Let's get into some shite. Hello, folks. Welcome to Apocalyptic. I am Rick. I am going to be talking to you for just a little while. I promise I won't take up too much of your time. How are you? How you doing in this greasy, nasty, drippy summer so far? You know, no one, not no one, but a lot of people don't believe in global warming. But yet, you can't go out the door without feeling it. But I don't know that it's... I know some places it's hotter than it usually is or used to be. I can remember times when I spent it's just, you can't stay outside. It's just hot. It's just awful. But some places are getting even more than that. And it's changing the weather, and it's changing the way nature acts and reacts. And I think we're going to keep seeing that. And it's going to get, I don't know. I think it's going to get more negative than anything. I've seen like reptiles, like gators and crocodiles, interact with humans more, and I guess that makes sense. But I don't want to encounter a crocodile. Do you? Can you outrun a crocodile? I don't even know what their average speed is. But I tell you one thing: if I ever meet a crocodile, I will set the land record for running. Pretty sure. I hope you're doing good. My summer's going okay. I'm staying indoors. And speaking of indoors, my house still looks like a hoarder house. It's better. I had a week of being able to put things away, and but I'm at that point where I just don't know what to do with a bunch of stuff. My house is kind of at the full limit, so I'm really making some hard choices. Trying to throw things away. Not a good thrower awayer. Not the kind of person that likes to throw away a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to be that person. I'm everything I'm looking at very carefully and just thinking, why do I have this? Why do I need this? Why do I want to keep it around? So I've already, there's been like two major things that, no, I did find one. So I'm going to say one major thing that I really needed that I threw away. And it reinforces that thing where I say, see, I shouldn't throw things away. So I threw it away when I was moving out of my studio, and now I need it. So I'm just like, see, why did I throw it away? I should have hung on to it like everything. You know, have you ever watched the Hoarder Show? And I don't want to make fun of the people because I think a certain amount of it is mental illness, but like they won't even throw away a milk bottle. One day I might need that. And I can relate, you know, not necessarily, but, well, I mean, like, I would look at something and go, I can make something out of that. I could use that milk bottle to put gasoline in or store something that I might need to store it in. There's a feeling that I have sometimes of just being wasteful if I throw things away. It took me a long time, and I'm not even really there, to not eat everything on my plate. For food, I grew up with like, eat it all. Do not throw anything away. And that kind of, I mean, it leads to overeating. It's gluttony to a certain extent. Now, you could argue that you shouldn't get as much at the very beginning of your meal, and that might be true. But if you reach a certain point where you're not that hungry and you keep eating, that's not healthy. And it's the same thing with stuff when you got a lot of stuff. And so I don't feel right throwing things away. So the key to a lot of this is going to be our yard sale. We have a yard sale this weekend. I'm hoping it doesn't rain, number one. And number two, I'm hoping a lot of people show up because we got a lot of stuff. That might be the biggest yard sale I've ever had. And not just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I mean, like big thing. We have furniture. We got some computers. We got big ticket stuff, you know? We need people with trucks pulling up and hauling off this stuff. And it's going to be kind of a like if you don't like the price, make your own price. Tell us what you want. We just want it gone. We need it gone quickly. So it's a good place to get deals. If you're in the neighborhood, stop by, get a deal at my yard sale. We're going to put signs up. I'm in charge of signs. When you're an artist, you're always in charge of the signs. So it's like prayer. If you're a religious person in the family, you're the one that always gets called on to do the prayer. That was me for many years. And then I remember for a while that I would get called on. I would say it, and it was embarrassing. You know, you're at your big family dinner and they're calling you to pray, and I would just say no. And then they would look at me like, what? No, I'm not doing it. And then they would get somebody, and then nobody would talk about it. But there was a long time in my Christianity life history that I didn't pray out loud. I didn't want to pray out loud. My prayer was more like meditation. And so just praying out loud was more like a show. It's just like I have to come up with words to talk and make it make sense, and that's not the way I pray. So I don't want to do that. And so I finally just started saying no, as embarrassing as it was to get called in public, and I would just say no. Try that one day, if anybody. I don't know if you're in a religious family, but if you get called on to lead the religious ceremony, just back out of it. Say no. They don't like it. They'll judge you. Yeah. So if you're an artist, you get called on to do the signs, and you can't say no. You can't say, I only do this silently. I don't. You can't. You just have to make the signs. So I'm making the yard sale signs this week. I'll be putting them up, and hopefully we'll get rid of stuff. And then whatever we don't get rid of, I don't know what we're going to do. What do you do? Donate it? Try to sell it online? Some good stuff. It's craziness. Hey, let me ask you a question. What, this I'm asking for a reason. How long do you wait on a table? You personally, you sitting there listening to the podcast, you walking, listening to the podcast. How long? When you go to a restaurant, do you go to restaurants with waiting times? Some people don't. They just go to Zaxby's or Burger King or whatever. But some, here in Atlanta, we have a lot of restaurants. It's a big foodie town, and I like that about Atlanta. But the thing is, there's a lot of people, and so you have waiting times. It's not like New York where you have to book several weeks in advance, even years. I don't know. Our year's coming up. You have to mark it on the calendar. Here, you just call in. You're supposed to call in. So we had we were going to have breakfast with some friends, and we called in a reservation. My wife called the reservation. I heard her do it. I was standing right there. I listened to her calling it in, and we got there. They said they didn't have a reservation. They lost it. That's our fault, I guess. Somehow they lost it. Why have reservations if you're not going to keep up with it? But anyway, so they just said, you're going to have to wait. And we were like, okay. And there was a big line there already. And they said the wait right now is an hour. Would you wait? Do you do that? Would you wait an hour for any meal? Well, I always feel like when they say the waiting's going to be an hour, that it's really going to be like 20 minutes. That they just say that to try to get rid of as many people as they can. A lot of people just don't want to wait on anything. And that's proven true most of the time. When I go somewhere and they say an hour, it turns out it's not an hour at all. Sometimes 5 minutes. So we decided to wait. We were hanging out. And I don't know, a little while later, our friend showed up. Now, our friends didn't want to wait. I think they're ready to go. So we just kind of said, hang on, I think it's going to be all right. And we waited, and it didn't happen. So as we started really getting closer to an hour, we stood out there for an hour. My wife went up and said, look, how much more time do we have? And the person said, oh, there's a party in front of you, one party, you're next. So that's not bad. So he said, okay. We waited, and I watched several people, and I watched this throughout the whole situation. People show up. And I could tell they didn't have reservations because I would just watch them interact with the hostesses. There were several of them, and they would say, "How many do you have in your party?" And they were 4, 5, whatever. And they would say, "Let me see what I could do." And they would go in. They would come back, and they would seat them in front of us. They showed it in later. But we waited and kept on waiting, and then finally, several people kept getting seated. They told us one, but kept seating, and so finally, my wife went up and said, "Look, we're still waiting." And she said, "Oh, you're an hour and 3 minutes waiting. That's how long you've been waiting, an hour and 3 minutes. But you one person in front of you, and then you're next." And my wife said, "You just said that to us 20 minutes ago," and she said, "Yeah, that's it." So I don't know. Is that should we have waited that long? Do you wait an hour for breakfast? I mean, an hour. I think it becomes lunch. So we were doing brunch anyway, and we just kind of all said, "Let's go next door to the sushi place." And we all decided, yes, let's go. We walked over to the sushi place. We were sat immediately at the sushi place and had great sushi. It was awesome. Should have done that in the first place. Most people don't go to breakfast at sushi places, though, but I don't know why. You can have egg sushi, right? But how long do you wait? I don't know. We kind of had that conversation. One of the people in our party said he doesn't wait longer than an hour for anybody, and I would agree with that. I don't normally go even close to an hour wait. I don't like that. But I feel like in this situation with the restaurant actually losing our reservation, they should have been a little more accommodating. And then telling us, you're next, and then waiting another 20 minutes. I don't know. It was too much. I don't know. What should we do? What should we have done? Should we just... And even if we left, the restaurant doesn't get punished. I mean, you could leave a review. That's where you do the punishing right there. Just leave a review, a bad review. Maybe we should do that. They don't care. There's a huge line. They got tons of people. Like you drop out, somebody else comes in. Like a rock concert. I saw Van Halen years ago. I was standing. I was in this standing area in front of the stage, probably about halfway back. And every time somebody would just pass out or get too hot and leave or something, I would like move up. I ended up like 3 rows from the stage. I got the sweat in my face, but I also got the sound system in my ear really close, and I have never been able to hear properly since then. So just be careful, because breakfast makes you deaf. That's the moral of the story, I think. I don't know. Hey, we have a listener line, 678-348-0008, if you want to call in and you want to talk about things, if you want to tell me your opinion, if you want to tell me how long you would wait in line, or what's the longest you've waited in line. Go ahead and call that number or text it. You can text it if you're a little shy. I'll do the work. I'll read your texts. That's fine. Or send me an email, rick@apocalyptic.com. Are you on Threads? I'm on Threads. Several accounts on Threads. So far, I'm enjoying the Threads. It's kind of fun. It's like Twitter without all the toxicity, but I'm sure the toxic stuff will. It's just a matter of time. People are people. They're going to show up. I don't know, but I'm on Threads. If you want to find me, Rick Baldwin Official, that's my personal account, or just follow Apocalyptic Podcast. And that's the account for this one. We're everywhere that you want to be. I'm also on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook with the Apocalyptic page. Just go there. Interact. I want to know who you are. You hear me? I don't hear you. How am I supposed to know you're out there unless you contact me? See, that's how it works. I know a few people who listen. A few people who, like Gary, who sent me the grape ice cream thing a few weeks ago. I've been looking at grape ice cream ever since. Every once in a while, I see it online. Some people have it. They say you can't have it, but some people do. I haven't been into a place where I could try it yet. So I'm just looking forward to... what I need to do is find the places that have the grape ice cream, and then I need to go there. instead of waiting for my favorite ice cream places to carry the grape. And I think that they have done it before. I had ice cream. I think it was wine ice cream, wine flavored ice cream. It's probably the closest to grape that I've had. That was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Made me happy. And what makes you happy? Let me ask you. What do you know the things in life that make you happy the most? I feel like as I get older, those become more and more pronounced. They become more easy to identify. And I'm finding things that I used to really like or enjoy or thought I liked and enjoyed just tend to kind of fade away. Maybe they don't fade away as much as I'm letting them go. I feel like, okay, I don't have time for that anymore. And I just let it fall out of my hand. Just let it go. I'm not going to do that anymore. And the things that I keep around, and I'll use as an example, like, I'm not a musician, but I love musical stuff. I've played music before. I've been in band and all that kind of stuff. And I've never played in a rock band. I always wanted to. I taught myself bass guitar to a certain extent, not enough I could ever play publicly, but I just enjoy, I've had guitar lessons, I've had piano lessons, and I just like putting a guitar in my hand and strumming and for nobody but for me. It's fun. But I realized that it's not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to do anything with it. And the instruments that I keep around are just kind of taking up space. Somebody could use them more effectively than me. Maybe keep one just for my own entertainment, but just get rid of stuff, start letting it go. Stop dreaming that one day I'll be in a band at my age. So that's an example. Just not doing it. I was thinking today, I was like, so is there going to be a day I just say no more podcasting? I'm not going to podcast anymore. I'm just going to let it go. And it could happen. I don't know. I mean, this podcast is not a huge podcast. I understand that. I don't have thousands of listeners. I understand that. It's fun. It's not the most expensive hobby. It's a hobby. But it's a hobby that requires other people to check in. It's like you need an audience. You need people to listen. Why do it if no one's going to listen? Right? It's like stand-up comedy. It's like a theater. You need the people sitting out there like that, doing that little thing. Whoa, I have my little, here, this. Yeah, you need those people. Thank you. All right, go sit down. You need those people to kind of complete what you're doing. And in podcasting, you don't need the immediate response. But you do want to do what you're doing for other people. I do this strictly for you. It's an entertainment thing, just to kind of, lighten your load, make your day easy, give you something to think about. And I don't want to do it for a long period of time. I don't want to make, hour and a half podcast. I don't understand how people commit to those. I've tried. I can barely do an hour. So I try to do something quick just for you to listen to. Maybe you're on a trip somewhere. You can listen really quick. And maybe think about something, maybe get a laugh, maybe, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do with your podcast, but that's why I do this. And it's just sort of a hobby for me. It's something that's fun. But yeah, I need that feedback from the people, and it makes me happy. That's what makes me happy. I was a performance major in college, a theater major, did stand-up comedy. Theater and all of that stuff. And so I do like the performance part of it. But this is kind of cool. I can kind of do it from my house, sit down, create a little show, little episode that maybe some people enjoy. And that makes me happy. But what makes you happy? What do you do? What's the thing? Let's just imagine for a second in your life that you start weeding the things out. It's like a tier. You've got the top tier of the thing. These are like the top things that make you happy. And then you can kind of start gradually pulling things away. Do you know the things? Do you know the thing that you want to keep above everything? And I don't mean like money, I can't even say that I mean like grandkids or kids or something, because you can't really pull those out. They're always there. You're always going to get the joy of that. But do you know what it is that you want to keep doing, let's say, until you die? And are you in a position to do that? Are you putting yourself in a position to do that? I'm learning that the thing, I just, for 2 years when I had my gallery, my wife's schedule and my schedule did not mesh. So I worked on her days off. She worked on mine. So we didn't, for 2 years, we hardly even got to go on dates, maybe really late night dates or something like that, but we didn't get to do much. We didn't get our weekends were gone. So now we have that back and we're starting to do things on the weekends. And man, it's so much fun. And yesterday I went somewhere without her and it was just like, it's one of my favorite places to go, but it's just not as much fun. So we get to do that now. And that's great. Spending time with your person. And just the things that you do. They don't even have to be, they don't have to have a goal. You can just do it. Just go drive. Go somewhere simple. Walk around. Go to a park. I don't care. I like that. I've discovered that's my favorite, one of my favorite things. I think it might be the last thing that I wouldn't get rid of. And there are a few more things on top of that. Just a few, not too many. But I'm identifying. I like creating things, as an artist. I like doing that. So I'm down to just a handful. Let's keep it there. I don't know what. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's life. Your death is throwing things off the boat, just getting rid of it before it sinks. And then in the end, you're left with one thing, and that's the one thing that you're okay to go down with the ship with that one thing. So I'm tossing things off the ship, people. Maybe you are too, but I'm still having fun. It's a lot of fun. My gallery, I thought I would keep it for a long, long time, but it's gone. It's not here anymore. Maybe one day I'll get something like it back, but that's okay. That's gone. And I can keep doing, I go, this is fun. I'm going to stay doing this. I have a good time here. So be happy. Just keep yourself happy. Sometimes I think it's just doing things like that until you're gone. I don't know. I do feel like there's a little more reward than just doing that. I do believe that being happy itself is what it's all about, right? You just find the things that make you happy. As long as it doesn't hurt other people or make other people sad. Within a reason, you can't live for other people. There are things you're going to do that other people don't like, but just don't hurt other people. Seriously. But I think you could be happy. Just do that. Just be happy. Make that your goal. Life goal. Only thing. Life goal. Why not? Quit your job if you don't like it. There are other jobs out there. You'll make it. You will. I wanted to talk about this really quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this, although it deserves a lot of time. I was thinking the other day I have some friends who, and I think we're all probably going to encounter this a lot in our lives. I have some friends, they're going through changes. They're doing the things to make themselves happy. And whether it's people who are going through gender identity changes or just completely, sexual changes. I don't know all the terms. I just know some people are finding things out about themselves that maybe they had hints of, they didn't know, and they're changing. And then to mark that change, they change themselves, whether it's physical change, which some people do, or just name change. But I have a lot of friends that are changing their names. So it's like you get used to someone who has a name, Linda. I don't know why I picked Linda. I don't even know a Linda. I don't have a Linda in my life. I don't think I do. But let's say Linda has gone through a change and Linda's decided she's no longer Linda. And Linda is now Larry. She wants to be Larry. He wants to be Larry. And that's the thing. Linda, I've known Linda as a she for 40 years. But now I have Linda as Larry, and Linda wants to be known as a he. I have friends like that, and I feel this thing in me, this resistance in me. Now, and I've tried to analyze it, and I think that's a good thing. You need to analyze it when you have these kind of resistances. Pardon me, I get allergies today, boy. Analyze your resistance to this kind of thing, because here's the deal. Nobody's born with any of this stuff. You're born with a set of biological pipes. A setup within yourself. You're born with that. Okay. And some people want to change that. That's their prerogative. Some people want to change their hair. Some people want to change their ears. Some people want this piercing. Some people want a nose job or a butt cheek implant. Whatever. That's their body. It's their prerogative. What makes them happy. But at some point we've said, don't change your genitalia. I can't accept that. Even if they like it. And then, I know a few people who were born with both. And they want to choose which one they want to keep. And then they have surgery to have one removed. It's a complicated life. You can't just draw a line and say, nope, can't. This is the way it's got to be. Because nature doesn't work that way. But some of it is sort of a choice. So you make a choice of what you want to call yourself. When you're born, your parents or grandparents or guardians, whoever raised you, made your choice that you're going to be who you are. You're Brian. They said that. That's who you are. You started growing up. You identified with the label Brian. You're Brian. If you go to the hospital and they ask who you are, you tell them Brian. They write that down. They put it on your little bracelet. You're Brian. If you tell them you're Gordon and they find out you're not really Gordon, they'll get mad. They can actually do legal stuff because you're Brian. Someone said it when you were born. But we all do that. We kind of get used to it. And then somebody comes along and says, I don't want to be Linda anymore. I want to be Larry. And then you have to call this person Larry, who you're used to calling Linda. And within me, I get a little bit of resistance. I'm like, I'm not used to that. This is different. This is strange. This feels different. How can I accept this? But yet I have to. But you accept it from the beginning when they tell you what their name is. When they say, my name is Brian at the very beginning. You don't question that. Rarely do you say, well, I'm going to call you Charles. You just accept it. That's who they are. Why can't you accept it when they change it later on? I don't know. I think we just like doing things the way we've always done them. We're comfortable with this name that we've always called you. I don't want to have to think of you as Larry. I always known you as Linda. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's just human nature. I think there has to be patience both sides. Both people have to understand there's going to be screw ups. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be some resistance in change. But yeah, we could do it. We could do it. We could get together and all say, we'll accept that. I don't know what happens if you find somebody who wants several changes, like throughout their life. They have a different name every few months. There's got to be somebody like that. But most people just do it because it's like, this is who I am. I feel more comfortable with this label. I feel more comfortable with this name, with this gender, with this sexuality. And who are we to say no? I mean, really, who are we? I think we feel like sometimes we're playing into a game that we don't want to play into. And so that's where the resistance comes from. But that is what they want. If we want to continue being their friend, their family members, there's a certain time of sexual exploring. Now, in my day, I think it still happened, but we didn't do it publicly. I think it just kind of all happened in our head. And it probably led to a lot of neurosis and anxiety and strange behavior and strange people, frankly. And kids now, young people now, I'll call them kids, young people now tend to do it more in the open. And some people are uncomfortable with that. Are you uncomfortable with it? I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm uncomfortable with it. I don't always see the point of it, but it's something that's important to them. It's the way that they need to do it. That's fine. Okay. I'm here. I'm part of society. I'll try to be accepting of what you need. That's what I want to do. I want to be your friend. I want to be a part of a functioning part of society. So I'll play along with you until you find what you're comfortable with. I mean, if you love people, isn't that what you want? You want your people that you love to be comfortable. And then if this makes you comfortable, you say, I will do that because you've asked me to do that. So, the people who just have to do it publicly, have to announce it on social media. People my age might go, oh, I don't know. Why is that necessary? And let them find out why it's necessary. You just shut up, blend in the background, watch it, and wait to see what happens. But that little period when people are kind of exploring with their sexuality, it's going to be confusing. There's not going to be any rules. It's not going to always make sense. Why? How can it make sense? It doesn't make sense to them. And they're trying to find things out. I've had family members that just says, I am this person. And then, months, years later, they're like, no, I'm this person. Well, I've decided I'm here. So they're trying to find their place and trying to find, it's just like if you're lost, if you have a map and you're trying to find your location, it's not always easy. It's all over the place. You got to be patient with people and just what people ask you to do, just do it. Even if it doesn't feel right, even if it doesn't make sense to you, it's not supposed to. You do your thing. And then they'll hopefully accept you when you need something, right? But I do feel like that it's something that, this is something that my age group, I've talked about this with people my age, and we don't understand a lot of it because we didn't go through it this way. I think we went through it, but we just didn't go through it this way. And, I see a lot of people my age that just won't accept today's music. It's got to be the boomers. When the boomers always were like Grateful Dead, Janis Joplin. Who else? Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Stones. Got to be them. Nobody's does band. No one's great as those people. My group, it's got to be Journey and Van Halen, and I don't know who the people are. No, people just don't want to let go of their youth. They don't want to let go of what they committed to, their ego committed to. They don't want to branch out. I was listening to, here's what I do sometimes. I just get on Apple Music and I go to new music and I just put it on and I just listen to it. Even if I hate it, I just listen. I was like, this is what people are listening to now. The kids. And a band I was just kind of aware of, the Pink Spiders. They come up. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember hearing about this band. Listen to it. And I thought, this is very much like what I listened to in college. I would listen to this band in college. I would listen to them now. I enjoyed it. So if you close off, you miss a lot of stuff. I'm not saying it's the greatest band in the world. I'm a big fan of NXS. It reminded me a little bit of NXS, a couple other bands. But I don't think, I can't say that NXS was the greatest band that ever existed. They were good, but it's fine. Okay. It's just like grape ice cream. It's your flavor you want right now. It's what makes you happy right now. The Pink Spiders, pink could be grape. They're cherry ice cream. Okay. I just say explore. Why lock into something that's old? Why lock into your old attitudes? Look at some gender changing. Look at some sexuality differences. Look at some people who change their name. Let it make you grow. You might find some happiness there that you didn't even know existed. All right, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to keep on it. We do have a guest, I think, for Thursday. I'm not going to tell you who it is because the person might back out. You better not back out. I think it'll be a fun interview. So plan on that for this weekend, Thursday. Now, this will be a one-on-one interview, not a call-in. I want to try to get more of these one-on-one interviews going. So this is kind of be an experiment because I got to go set up and get the person here. I haven't done another person in a while. So that'll happen this week, and I think you'll like it. If you don't, there'll be something different next week. See, that's the thing about podcasting. It's just always different. But I do appreciate you checking in, you listening. Go make yourself happy.